developed pattern. I also want to see the original for just to compare how much more ease, how much more space is there in the clothes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my library, and then I'm going to add another avatar. And I'm going to place her 1.2 meters away from the one I have now. And since she was a size 38-40, I'm going to make sure, of course, she's the same size. So I'm going to my avatar editor. And change the same measurements I changed before. So she has a bust circumference of 88. She has the waist of 69, and then here the hip 96. And I'm going to close the window and say yes to that. Okay, now I have two identical avatars, and I want to place the original pattern onto it so I can have a comparison. I right click, I say add to workspace, and I just say OK to that. And then it places itself right on top of the existing, but that's fine. I'll just move it out here. So now I've got my original bodice here, and also what I would like to do is to move the original up here so it doesn't collide. And also I'll say lock to this one here because I don't want to do anything with this. It's just as a reference. I'm going to close my library again. And now I have my top, and I'm not going to change anything about it. So what I can do is that I have yeah, that was a tad too soon for me. Unlock all pattern outlines. I'll just do like that first, and then I'll move it down here. I can just move all of the top and place it on top of my avatar here. Turn around, see where it's a very close fitting one, so it is difficult to place all of it, but this I think will be fine. And then I'm going to lock the pattern here, and then I'm going to say simulate, either by pressing spacebar or by clicking this arrow up here on the left, and then it simulates. As we can see, not all of her arm is coming through here, but we can either sometimes you can just drag it through, or what you can choose to do is that you since this is a very simple task here, you can simply say I get my arrangement points, I allow myself to touch the patterns again, so I'm just going to click on this one here, and I click for the arrangement points for this avatar, turn her around and place it right where it should be, like that, in the point. And then that should be fine. Let's go back and see if this didn't work now. And now it's fine. Now everything's in place again. If it's much more complicated thing, what you can do is you can you have other means of correcting a simulation crash, but we'll get into that later. Now, as you can see, I've got them next to each other. So this is what you can see, a huge difference between these two here. What I also like to do is to see, okay, but if we set it for, instead we can see under the fabric, this is a textured surface, this is a thick, which resembles when it's been sewn together with facings and stuff like that. And then here we got the monochrome and the translucent, and then we got the mesh. I quite like checking with the mesh, because what you can do, and I'm just going to do it only in the 3D window now, you can see how much ease there is, how much ease, how much air I've got between the clothes and the body. And as you can see here, we got an awful lot going on here, very big, this one here. So this is a good indication of it. Another way, of course, you can see it if you go with your fabric, and then in the object browser, if I click on the fabric, I can now adjust the fabric. And what I could do here in my property editor, I can scroll all the way down to under color, I got opacity, and I can do the same here with the opacity, and here, and like that, see how much room have I got between the clothes, the garment, and my body. Okay, just get that back up to 100, and the same for this one, back up to 100 for this one here. Okay, so now I also want to have a good look at the balance and the fabric, and it can be very difficult to see exactly the grain line and so on. So I have in my library here, I have a little piece of print that I've made myself, which shows the grain line and the bias as well. And if I now want to show what it looks like here, so we can see the grain line and so on, I can now drag this and leave it up here on this, and now you can see this is what I'm talking about. This is the balance of the clothes, and you can see where there is where the grain line is, and you can also see the bias where it runs. I think in order to make this look a bit more readable of what happens, what I want to do is I will actually want to go back here now, and instead of having seams running down here, what I want to do is that I want to merge. So what I can do here is that I can right click on the center front, and I can say merge. And once I've done that, I don't have this line running down here anymore. Just needed to synchronize. You can see now the one straight across, and I can do the same for the back as well and say merge. This just makes it kind of easier to read as well. And I'll just show the back as well. Yeah, so let me just also try another thing here with the avatar. So you go back to avatar, to the female poses, and I'm just going to have her straight down like that. And it asks me which one do you want. Yeah, but I want this one here. Click it, and I can see which one it's going to change the pose on. And I'm going to say yes to that as well. And now she's going to have her arms down by her side instead. Slowly, slowly. Or at least a bit further down. And then also I can see all the extra fabric that is here, how it's folding around her. I can also see here from the side with the sleeves that the grain line runs straight down here in the middle as we wanted to do, and I can see it's the same here with the front. And if I press 8, I get the back view, and I can see that's the same here. Okay, so now I think what I would like to do is that I would like to just get rid of this again here. I want it just to be now a plain white fabric on this one here. So in the 2D window again, I can choose the pattern pieces I want, and I've added a new piece of fabric, and I'll just click on this little arrow here where it says assign to selected patterns, and I'm back to white, but I still have my pattern fabric up here that I can check out with later if I need to. Right, so next thing I want to do, I would like to add some color, and I would like to add some elastic band as well. So I'm gonna move this, and I'm gonna go and click on my fabric in the object browser, and then it opens up on the property editor. If you can't see, if for some reason you don't see anything down here, it's because you haven't activated, even though it's the blue, it's ticked off here. It just means it's been assigned to pattern pieces, but you need to activate the fabric for it to open up for all the possibilities of settings you have here. Now we're just going to scroll down to color. When I click color, this pops up, and it just gives me a range of all the colors in the world, and it runs where you can even have the Pantone colors, so you know exactly what colors you order and you get when you have it dyed. So I'm just gonna go for, let's say, a red here. Well, it's a bit fresh red. Let's just try this one here for now. And then I would like this to be a bit shorter, so I'm going to shorten it as well. I'm going to take it up a bit. I'm going to simulate and see how far up it came. I'll just do it a tad more. Good.